So in this video, I'm going to break down the full training. I'm going to showcase you how to take full advantage of it and what is included in each part and how to actually complete the full 10 weeks. So these are all the parts that the training consists of. Now these parts are meant to be completed in a time frame of 10 weeks. Now if you try to rush through all the parts in like a week, 2 weeks, you're gonna fail. Like you're not gonna absorb all the information. The way the course is constructed, it is constructed in a way for you to properly understand each part. Each part is engineered in a way for you to understand the factors that are included in that part. So we start off with the basics. So we have part 0, part 1, and part 2. Part 0, we jump into trading introduction, stocks introduction. I break down everything that you guys need to know about trading, everything you need to know about stocks, like terminology, market makers, what is the stock market, short selling, all the basic information. We then go to options intro, where I break down important things you guys should know about options. What are options? What factors are included in an option? The Greeks, all these things that you guys should really know about options. Then we dive into trading platforms. I showcase you multiple type of trading platforms that exist, what trading platforms are, how to buy, how to sell, right? We then jump to part 3. Part 3 covers price action, such as support and resistance, gaps, finding supply and demand areas, the direction of the move. Then we jump into chart patterns. Then we have part 5, which is mastering price action, right? This focuses on part 4 and 3 and digs down a little bit deeper. Now what you have to understand before I continue with the remaining parts is each part is constructed in a way for you to finish in a timely manner. So for example, your job is to complete until part 3 in week 1. Okay, so week 1, you should complete part 3. Now, if you want to spread it out and you're like, I don't want to follow this guideline, you don't have to, right? But do not, please, I recommend, please do not rush through the course. Do not rush through each part. I want you to fully understand everything. And after each course, after each part, there are action items. So after each part, there's something called action items, right? And after each part, there are quizzes, right? The idea of the quizzes and action items is quizzes is just to test your knowledge, just to make sure that you kind of understood everything that was important in that part, and then you can move on, right? Action items is basically homework. Your job is to take the action item, do the assignment that is required for you to do, and then submit the assignment on the trader's form, which I'll break down. So once again, your job is to complete the action items as recommended, and all of them have an action item, and complete that and then submit your answer on the form. Now let's say you're on part 2 and part 2's action item is, hey, I need to make a trading platform. Or let's say an action item on part 2 is for you to take on a trade. Now if you have a hard time with any of this, you can take it to our trading community, which is developed for you. That's where the trader's form kicks in. So the trader's form we have, that is designed for you to bring all your questions to. That is designed for the whole community aspect. So if you get stuck on part 1 or get stuck on part 2, you should go to the forum and ask questions. Now on the forum, we have weekly Q&A calls. The Q&A calls represent any questions you may have. So once again, if you're stuck on part 3 or you submitted the action item and you're kind of confused, you can go on the Q&A calls, which are all scheduled on the forum, and I'm going to break down the forum in the forum onboarding video. Go on the forum and ask the question, and me or another SML team member will assist you and help you out, right? So once the action items are complete, you submit it to the forum, you then go to the next part. Complete the action item, go to the next part. Complete the action item, go to the next part. Now, as I mentioned, I don't want you guys to have information overload, which is why this course, once again, was engineered in a way where you really deeply understand each topic in a lot of various different ways. So once again, week 1, part 3. Week 2, you're focusing on part 4 and part 5, right? You're getting everything done for this. Now, as I mentioned, if you want to take a step back and you don't want to really, accelerate and do 5 parts in 2 weeks, that's okay. But also by week 2, if you do want to accelerate and you have a lot of time and you're a quick learner, yes, you can accelerate too. Like I said, the whole idea of constructing 10 weeks is for you to have a guideline. So by here, you should be on 2 weeks. Moving forward, we have part 6 and part 7. Part 6 focuses on technical indicators. Me personally, I don't use a lot of indicators, right? And I'll break that down in part 6, but I still cover them just to show you, because the whole idea of this training is to show you different trading styles and different trading methods so you guys can pick your own and take it from there. Part 7 focuses strictly on risk management, protecting your downside, locking in the upside, having proper risk management strategies. And then we go to part 8, which is key things to know. So by part 8, you should be on week 3, right? So right now you're on week 3. You understand a lot of things about stocks. You understand the patterns. You understand price action. You completed all of the action items and you submitted it to the form. Now moving forward, we jump into week 4. Now week 4 kind of gets a little hectic. Week 4 focuses on trading strategies, building a watch list, trade management, and we jump into a little bit part 12. So you have 4 parts. That's where it kind of gets a little accelerated. Once again, if you don't want to follow this format, you don't have to. Once you get to week 4, you should see different trading strategies. I'm going to show you a lot of different trading strategies. I'm going to show you how to find stocks, how to build different sets of watch lists. I'm going to show you a very important concept, which is trade management, what to do after you're in a trade. And then when we get to part 12, that's when I start showing you certain trades, right? So by week 4, an average person should be by part 12. Now, when we get to part 5 or week 5, that's where you are implementing this and that. You're implementing part 12 and 13. So by the 5th week of this training, you guys should be at least on part 13. If you are behind, that's okay, but you should have a reason on why you're behind. Like on week 5, you shouldn't be on part 2, or you shouldn't be really on part 3. That's way too behind. By week 5, you should at least be on part 13. Now, when you are on part 13, just to explain part 13 and part 12, this is where I break down the stocks I have traded, where I got in, how I found them, what my trading plan was, and I show you a lot of different setups. I show you day trading setups, and I show you swing trading setups so you can see both sides. The idea of these 2 parts is to put everything we've learned together in action. So you see it happening live, and you're like, aha, this makes sense, now that makes sense, now I know why he does this, or now I know why I should do that. That's until week 5, and that's what part 12 and 13 covers. Now after part 13, we get to a very, very important concept in trading that no one really talks about. And this is week 6. This is where we cover trading psychology. I know it sounds very basic, but this is the important part. Part 15, developing a trader's mindset, right? If you don't know by now, trading is a mind game. There's a lot of psychology involved. So understanding the mindset you need, understanding the trader's mindset that you need to actually succeed as a trader is extremely critical. So by week 6, we should be on part 14 and 15. And I have a lot of exercises for you guys to do here to actually develop your trader blind spots, creating routines and habits, doing the magic pill. There's a lot of different exercises that are required to do for you to actually excel. Then we have week 7. In week 7, we complete part 16 and part 17. Part 16 is designing your trading plan, and part 17 it's showtime. That's when you go out in the market, you're ready to attack, and you're ready to take it from there. In part 16, I show you how to create a full trading plan. Depending on your trading style, depending on your trading techniques, how you want to trade. I'm going to show you my trading plan, how I trade, and obviously the way I trade may be a little bit different than the way you trade or you want to trade. And then finally, in Showtime, I show you the computer I use, the screens I have, and just the day-to-day walkthrough so you can actually see everything from a bigger perspective. Right now, you're probably wondering, wait, that's only 7 weeks. Now, that's only 7 weeks because the remaining 3 weeks, your job is to figure out these components. Your job is to figure out these components, and I'm going to break that down right now. So when you guys start, I'm not going to have you start with real money. I want you to start with something called paper money. I want you to paper trade. Paper trading is trading the real markets with fake money. Now, paper trading is all right. It's not going to help you out a lot, but it is going to build certain confidence. It is going to allow you to test certain strategies and get familiar with the platform. Now, is paper trading going to make you an elite trader or going to give you the same practice as real money? Absolutely not. But the idea is, until we get to part 13, right? Until we get to week 5 or week 6, around here, you should not invest or trade with real money. Real money should kick in after this point, after week 7 or 8, after you get to a comfortable point. Now, like I mentioned, some people might complete this a little bit earlier, a little bit faster. It might take you 5 weeks to complete everything, right? That's okay. But if you are taking 5 weeks, if you are accelerating it, right, make sure your action items are done. Make sure you're joining the webinars. Make sure you're staying active in the community. Make sure you're engaging and fully understanding all of the concepts. And then once that is done, the remaining 3 weeks, you start getting a better idea of trading. Now, another point I want to bring up. I don't want you guys to think that by the time I get from part 0 to part 17, or by the time I get from week 1 to week 10, I'm going to become an elite trader. That's not going to happen, and I'm going to tell you that right now. The whole idea of these 10 weeks is to build you up. Once you are built up as a trader, you are then going to dive into the market with real money. When you invest real money, guys, the game will change a lot. There will be a lot of things changing for you when there's real money. You're going to see how psychology and emotions play a huge role. You're going to see how a lot of other factors start playing a big role in the market. So the idea of the 10 weeks is for you to build that foundation and then take it from there. Once that foundation is built, you are now allowed to go on and experiment and start trading with real money to get a better idea. Now, just to break everything else one more time, you guys have the form, right? Ask all your questions on the form. When you guys get stuck on a part, and you guys are going to get stuck, go to the form, ask your questions. I'm going to break the form down, how to operate and navigate through the form. Right? The whole idea of the form is for you to communicate, for you to engage, and for you to ask any questions, because like I mentioned, you guys are going to get stuck. All the action items, make sure you do it and submit it on the form. On the form, right, there are parts. On each part, you're going to submit your action item. Other members are going to submit their action items, and you guys are going to see all the work that other people are doing, the work you're doing, and you'll be able to see it from there. So that's the full trading breakdown of this training, right? So just to recap, make sure you don't rush through it. Make sure you take it one day at a time. And I promise, as you guys are progressing, and obviously it's going to be a hard journey, we as the SML team are going to be there to help you along the way. That's the whole idea of the forum, and that's the whole idea of the community. So I look forward to working with you guys, and I'm very, very excited.